I don't know if I want to make this video, but there's one thing about the 400Z I don't think no one's talking about. And the 400Z is going to get a... Welcome everybody back to boostinmotion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. Yeah guys, so I want to talk about it. There's two cars I want to talk about in this video, and I want to talk about them because I think it's gonna, a lot of the technology that's going into these cars are going to go into the 400Z, but also on top of that, it lets us know the direction of where Nissan Infiniti may be going with these two specific models. So let's first talk about the new Nissan Pathfinder. Come on guys, just hang out with me. I know you don't want to hear about this, but I liked how the Nissan Pathfinder was back in the day. I think it was way more rugged. It seems like they're trying to make the looks more up to the day and age now, right? But they did something that I think was actually pretty dope, right? And what they did was they got rid of the CVT and they added a 9-speed automatic. Now the car, from what I can read, is going to be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, which in my head means, guess what? It's a transverse mounted driveline, which means the motor sits sideways like Maximus, okay? So if they got rid of CVT, added a 9-speed transmission, that means the driving feel is going to be a lot better. But here's why I think this is important. The Pathfinder shares the same chassis as the qx60. So if these cars are very similar, they haven't come out with the new qx60 yet. Guess what that means? The qx60 is going to get a 9-speed automatic. Now, even though Infiniti wants to go electrified, I can see them giving us a whole new qx60 looking good, but just giving us the 3.5 V6 motor, which they did move into the 2022 model Pathfinders. They could have went with the 4-cylinder turbo, but I guess they didn't want to take that risk and put the 4-cylinder turbo in there, knowing that this is going to be their brand new car. They'd rather make a brand new car that people will want to buy. They like how it looks, they like how it drives and feels, and not take a hit on the engine. And I think that makes a lot of sense. But moving forward from that, this gives us a clear indication what the new qx60 drivetrain is going to be. All right, cool. Now, let's just, I'm going to get to the 400Z part, but let's kind of move it more on what this new 9-speed transverse mounted 9-speed could also apply to other cars. You have the Nissan Altima and you have the Nissan Maxima. Let's just mainly talk about the Maxima. The Maxima doesn't sell as much as the Altima, let's be quite honest. And as a former Maxima owner, once they went to CVT, I really disliked the car. I think the engine was still a pretty potent V6, but the transmission made the car just, it didn't feel sporty anymore. If they develop this 9-speed transmission for the Pathfinder, they can also hopefully apply this also to the Maxima too, and maybe they can bring back that 4-door sports car thing again. That's like they're back to their roots. And I think that would be a great idea. And I really believe that they should make an all-wheel drive option, because they do have an all-wheel drive option in the Altimas too with the 4-cylinder. So I think they should definitely move more into that and give people more options and what more people would want if they could develop it with their engineers. All right, so that could be a direction on where we can go just by having a 9-speed transmission that's transverse mounted. Now, talking about 9-speed transmissions and talking about Pathfinders, yes, I think this is something that could be really good for the future. So the new Nissan Frontier came out, and it still has the same V6 motor, or same derivative of the V6 motor too, but they went over into a 9-speed transmission for this car. That truck is a longitudinal mounted, longitudinal mounted driveline, which means the motor sits like G35s, 430, VQs and stuff like that. They sit longitudinal mounted from front to back, right? Sorry for just getting tongue twisted there. Knowing this, knowing that same transmission is in the Frontier, is in a Titan, it's gonna move over into the car of what you think. Yes, the 400Z. I believe that transmission, I'm 90% sure they're going to put that transmission in the 400Z. 90% sure. Why wouldn't they? The car is going to come standard with a 6-speed manual. How much do you guys actually drive stick? Come on, let's be honest. How much you guys actually drive stick? I'll wait. Because most of you guys don't. You guys are cheeseburger shifters just like me, okay? Or chicken sandwich shifters. It is what it is, right? So you guys choose to get the automatic cars. From reading different reviews and watching reviews, the new 9-speed transmission in the Titan shifts really quick. And the Titan has a certain amount of torque, so we can assume that it will handle a specific amount of torque. Now, if they do develop the bell housing for this transmission to bolt up to the VR30, this will be a dope thing. And why is this a dope thing? Because smaller gear ratios wins races. Let's be quite honest. A 6-speed manual is not going to compete to the gear ratio if it's ratioed properly of a 9-speed automatic. I know you guys like shifting your own gears and going through it and sliding and all that stuff, but that's not going to work when it's a proper 9-speed. Look at what the Super does with the 8-speed ZF or any other ZF transmission. Let's even go to the 10-speed that's in the Mustangs and the Camaros. Those are fast shifting 10-speed transmission that take a lot of torque and shift very fast and very short gear ratios. So I think pairing the VR30 up with the 9-speed transmission, as long as the gear ratios are good and hopefully the transmission can take a good amount of torque, that car is going to be a problem. And especially a lot of these cars that come out now are really heavy, on the heavy side. So if Nissan keeps these cars still right around that 3,500 mark with a 9-speed transmission, and with all the modifications that's already out for the VR30, hopefully they made a lot of the parts interchangeable too. It's going to be insane. But why I'm also excited about this is this. If they have a 9-speed transmission now, it's going to go into a VR30, to a 400Z. Guess some of the cars that will be coming a little dated in the community of the Infiniti. You have the dated Q50 from 2014. I had 2 of those cars. Now I have a Q60, right? The Q60 came out in 2017. So the Q60 has a little bit more years it can still run, but the Q50 definitely needs an overhaul or they're going to scrap it. So whatever they choose as the driveline, I really see the 9-speed automatic going into the next Q50 if they make another one. We don't know if it's going to be a hybrid powertrain or a 4-cylinder turbo. We don't know what they're going to do with the new Q50, but I can see them using a 9-speed in that. The same thing for the Q60 if they choose not to get rid of it. I hope they don't get rid of the Q60 because there's really no other coupes in Infiniti. And lastly, what I want to talk about, all this claps together, is that, I think Nissan Infiniti is going the right route and they're actually listening to their customers. They finally chose to get away from the CVT, even though with the QX55, which is disrespect to the FX, they should have took their time out and put that new 9-speed in that car, but they chose to put the 4-cylinder in that car, 4-cylinder turbo, and give it the CVT, which is pretty much just a QX50. And that's probably why they call it 55. It's nothing really new. It's still a good-looking truck, but it is what it is. This is where most of the money goes. This is where most of our... Remember, guys, if you're from America, they make these cars because there's a demand for it. Infiniti is really mainly American brand. They have other spots in other places where they sell Infinitis, but this is what people want. This sucks, okay? But anyways, but knowing that they actually do want to work for it, they seem like they're developing this new transmission. I hope that this transmission give us back some of the Ford sporty feel. I don't mind if I'm driving a peppy Q50 or a peppy Q60 or even a QX60 or a Titan or Nissan Pathfinder. As long as it gives me that feeling of I enjoy driving this car, I can actually feel the gear changes. We still want that mechanical feeling. I believe people love the comfortable ride, but they don't want to sit there and say, wow, you guys dumbed down the experience so much that it's almost seamless. No disrespect to people who love Teslas, but they're quick cars. They're quick cars, they take off quick, but there's no drama. It's like the cars really don't have any soul. They're nice, but they don't have the soul. Like, I would rather drive a Toyota Yaris than drive a Tesla. Even though I like Teslas, I love the iPhone on wheels. I think it's dope. But if I had to have them both in my garage, I probably would drive the Tesla because I want to save gas and not kill the earth. But at the end of the day, I would probably still drive the Yaris just as much because I would yearn for the feeling of the gears shifting, or I get a 6-speed manual. It's just, it's something there, and it's something mechanical, and there's moving parts moving, and it's combustion. It's literally just something amazing in itself. I feel bad that we're kind of moving more to electrification. But anyways, guys, let me bring this to my last rant. I appreciate you guys watching so much. This was kind of just an update video talking about what I think, what I know. Super thankful for you guys. You guys can contact me at boostinmotion on IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. You guys have good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You have a good day. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you.